This is a Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube has 6 different sides, each with a different color on it. The purpose of this toy is to scramble them up and then try to rearrange them until you get one solid color on each side. If you try and solve the Rubik's Cube, what awaits you is an extremely challenging mind workout. The number of possible configurations on the Rubik's Cube is greater than 42 quintillion. Damn! And just like with the Avengers, there's only one combination that will solve the equation.
You said 1 out of 14 million we win, yeah? Tell me this is it.
So with that many combinations and moves, good luck with that. That number may seem daunting, but it's those seemingly endless possibilities that make it so addictive. Because you can solve it, if you're smart enough. But if you've tried hundreds and maybe even thousands of times to solve it with no success, here's a pro strat. Pop off each block and rearrange them until you've got a completed Rubik's Cube. This might not be the first thing you think about when the word toy comes to mind, but I think it's that standing outside of the crowd that's made it so popular these many years. The Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974 by a Hungarian professor of architecture by the name of Erno Rubik. He actually designed it to use as a visual illustration to teach his class about 3D space. Unbeknownst to the professor, the Rubik's Cube was going to be an extremely popular toy outside of the classroom. Originally, this was more designed for those that specialized in math, sciences, and engineering, and no one ever thought that it would actually be popular outside of those groups. However, Rubik soon realized that it had a popularity beyond the nerds. Cubed, the puzzle of us all. A book written by Rubik states, "It found its way to people whom nobody ever thought might be attracted to it." Powerful stuff. By 2020, 450 million cubes had been sold. Damn! And it still sells 100 cubed plus yearly, with 2020 coming in at 20 million units sold. Damn! Rubik is solely responsible for revitalizing the cube-based toy industry. This was the very first Rubik's Cube that I ever came across. I'm not 100% sure how old this is, but I know it's at least as old as I am. Whenever I would visit my grandparents in Falls Church, Virginia, there it was, sitting on a shelf, the Rubik's Cube, just waiting to be solved. I've always lived on the West Coast, so I would visit my grandparents periodically, and each time I would go and visit them, there it was on that same shelf, unsolved. I still wanted to see those solid colors on each side of the cube. Unfortunately, I was solving it very mindlessly. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just turning the blocks, hoping that it would just magically be solved. I had just gotten so tired of always leaving it unsolved, and this time when I left, I wanted to have it fully completed. So I went to YouTube and started looking up tutorials on how to solve Rubik's Cube. After 15 years of failures, I finally solved it. At first I felt a little bit bad using cheat codes to solve it. However, I was just happy to finally see it completed. Even the creator himself said that he took over a month to solve it the very first time. I can just imagine the TAs teaching the class as Rubik is sitting in the corner, feverishly and desperately trying to solve this new toy. So, I don't think I'm doing that bad. At the height of toying with Rubik's Cube, I was able to solve it in about a minute 30. I thought I was doing pretty good. And then I found out about speed cubers. Speed cubing is a competitive sport where the fastest fingers in Rubik's Cube meet and compete to try and get the fastest time. The fastest solve in the world is 4.69 seconds. Damn! So I might not be very close to the fastest, but it's still really fun to push yourself and see what your personal best can be. If you're one of the nerds who have solved the Rubik's Cube, and want even more of a challenge, then head on over to Rubik.com, where you can find a vast array of other Rubik's Cubes to solve, which include a 4x4, 5x5, a pyramid, and even the Phantom 3x3, which uses thermochromic technology. Rubik's Cube has left its mark on the puzzle and toy industry and continues to do so. In the last few years, Rubik's Brand Limited was acquired for $50 million from Spin Master, one of the largest toy companies. Clearly this toy is not going anywhere anytime soon. Make sure to check out the 3x3 Rubik's Cube when you're browsing on Rubiks.com. It's only about $10, And just think about the clout that you will receive from your friends and family if you solve it. Don't forget to check back Thursday where I will do a solving tutorial for the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Thank you again for watching another Toys R Me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and be sure to check out my next video next Tuesday. Be there, or be
square.